Hello and welcome into another edition of River Dragons Weekly. I'm VP of Communications and play-by-play broadcaster Zach DeBozart, and you're in the right spot tonight because we had a lot of action at the Columbus Civic Center this weekend. If you missed any of it, we're going to recap it all. It's going to take us a little bit, so I'm going to stop talking and tell you about how Thursday's game went right now.
Stoya holds in left point after taking some abuse. Nippert back for Stoya, scores. Now Port Huron will move this into the neutral zone, 2-on-1 if they can hustle. Federley left circle, pass across and they score. Maldonado from the red line, ahead for Hayes, he's into the zone. Hayes for Maldonado, right wing circle, back for Hayes, drive to the middle, he score! Backhand, what a play, CJ Hayes, he's got his fourth in as many games, 2-1. Now to Clouston, right point. Back for Tremblay at the center point. He turned it over. Here's Dalton J and a breakaway. Dalton J one-on-one with Karpinski and a pad save. Stoya circle to circle for pace. Now a long stretch pass from Federley to Dalton J. J right circle. He scores. Austin Federley left point a shot. He'll put that one into the corner. Clouston trying to tie up with Matt Graham. In the middle, Dalton J. They score. Kugler trying to rim it around. Pace, left point, a shot. Pad save made, Rutledge. Rebound, Jay has it behind the net. Playing it to the middle, he scores. Off the boards. This one will be dumped ahead. Lennartson's got a 2-on-1. Lennartson, right circle. Toe drag, fires. Save made, Paulin. Lennartson, his own rebound. Save made, loose at the side of the net. And somehow kicking it away with the knee was Paulin. Now here's Bondarenko. Score! Ivan Bondarenko giving the River Dragons some life. It's 6-2. Now he'll lay it off there. Lennartson for Bondarenko. He's got the last goal in this one. Bondarenko across. MJ Graham. What a deke! What a goal! MJ Graham. 2 back-to-back. 6-3. Troop trying to send this one out. Into the offensive zone it goes. Moskal, right wing circle. To the middle. Cuts. Score! Parker Moskal. Welcome to the River Dragons. What a move! Howie skates this one into neutral ice. Left wing side to Dimmitt. One touch. Back for Howie. 2-on-1. Score! Jake Howie!
It was a big comeback for Columbus, but just too little too late. Ran out of time there at the end. However, Friday's game, a whole new story. Check that one out.
Here's Lennartson. Up into the zone from the red line. Deflected in by Dimmitt. Giving chase here, CJ Hayes. Across deflect. Score! Parker Moskal. What a play. What a goal. And Howie put it back in, delayed off sides. River Dragons already back with it though. Moskal, right wing circle, what a move. Cuts to the middle, slows it back, a shot and a goal! Cameron Dimmitt off a beautiful play from Moskal has made it 2-0. 4 seconds left to go. Stoya stands up in the box anxiously. Lennartson along the goal line. Hayes fires, loose there, score! CJ Hayes! Now pushing this one ahead. Here's MJ Graham, right circle. Graham cuts, score! MJ Graham drives to the middle. Kugler, a shot from an acute angle, blocked by Nippert. MJ Graham with it to the middle. Tremblay, score! 3-on-3 now as he hits it right wing side. Learakos, Deeks behind the back, has it to the middle. J. Krupp finds it, waits, Deeks, score! J. Krupp showing off the patience, 6-0. Goes off the wall, right finishes off his check big time. Here's Jake Howie, left wing circle, score! Jake Howie! Lennartson, cross ice pass, Learakos in over the line, left wing side, dropping it back, San Apollo, spins it back, left wing hash, Howie, center point, right wing circle, Bondarenko, score! Moskal, waits, looks, backhand, Deeks, what a save, Kokkola, he reached back, he scores! Jake Krupp! Loose in the circle there, Graham will lay it back. Here's Federley, left circle, a shot he missed well wide. 6 seconds left to go. That one goes out of the zone. Bondarenko will give chase. 2 seconds left. Oh, he rang it off the post. That'll do it. The game is over. Jared Rutledge, the first shutout in Columbus River Dragons history.
After the River Dragons pulled off their first shutout in team history, you knew the Prowlers would come back motivated. They certainly did, and we had the definition of a barn burner on Saturday. Here's how that one looked.
And now he'll lose the puck. Coming in with it, full head of steam over the center. Shapitson fires. Score! That didn't take long. Alice Shapitson back in the lineup and into the score column. Swing side, Bondarenko will tip it into the zone. Learakos in the corner, gets ahead of Strack. Moving it up the wall, left point. Tremblay a chance. That one loose in front. Backhand. Save made curl. Rebound. They score. Nick Wright. Nick Wright, baby. trying to move this one up the wall. Dalton Jay tied up there with Howie. Nipper takes a check from Follis. Jay cuts to the middle, scores.
Yep, that's what I told you.
Pfeiffer back for Graham to Pfeiffer, and he whiffed on it there. Loose in the slot. Portillo turns around. They score.
Absolutely outworked them.
Gregorich, left wing side, dumps this one in. He puts a counter check onto Lenardson. Howie trying to rim this one around. Gregorich to the middle. Score.
There you go. 3-0, 3-2.
Gonna go away from him. Moskal gets around a man. He's 2-on-1 with MJ. MJ, right wing circle. Going. Score! Graham, right wing corner. Trying to feed to the middle. And Rutledge with the active stick took it away, and they score. Shapitzin with this one. Along the wall. Goal line. Firing a shot. Save made curl. Rebound. They score! Parker Moskal finding a loose puck. Track. Blocked away there by Wright as he tried to dump it in. Now San Paulo left wing circle with it. San Paulo across. Score! Beauty of a feed. Yanni Lirakos move between his legs. Then a big stick lift right there. Moskal to the middle. Waits. Score! Nippert, center point. Backdoor. They score. Matt Graham. What a deflection. For all involved, we still have more hockey to play. San Paulo 2-on-1, right wing circle. San Paulo waits, back for Bondarenko, score! Ivan Bondarenko restores the 2-goal lead. It's 8-6. Blocked in front, Dalton Jay. Now up the left wing side. Here's David Nipper trying to go 1-on-1. Nipper to shot. He scores. MJ Graham, left wing side. He's in over the line. Left circle stops up. Trumbley looks, fires. Save made curl. Rebound tied up. MJ Graham scores. Hayes moving this one up. Left wing side. Moskal. What a deke. Shot. Save made. Closton scores. Check there by Dimmitt. Laid loose for Zulkanich. Trying to go back for Jay. Pass was out of his reach. Left point Parsons. Stick there loose. They score. David Nippert. Deeks around a man. Trying to get it out. Port Huron turned him over. Pfeiffer to Graham. Back for Pfeiffer. They score. Business. Those two pick themselves up. Onsides for Dimmitt. Short-handed chance. Panson. Score! Cameron Dimmitt. Short-handed goal. 11-9.
20 goals, 11 of them for your River Dragons. A huge weekend overall. Columbus scores 26 goals across 3 games. That 11-9 win, certainly one of the classic games you're going to hear about from this season and probably beyond in the FPHL. It was a lot of fun. We were happy to bring it to you right here. And you know what? Who knows? Maybe we'll see that Port Huron team again in the playoffs should the standings fall that way. We got to take a break for this segment, though. When we come back, we hear from one of those goal scorers. It's the River Dragons number 18, Jake Howie. He comes up right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Francis Marion, better known as the Swamp Fox, a guy known for his guile, his unorthodox methods, the first militiaman. He was crafty before craft even existed. F. Marion Continental Whiskey has its own crafty and cunning instincts, a spirit that's bold but smooth. This is a premium, small batch American whiskey that punches well above its weight. Enjoy Swamp Fox F. Marion Continental Whiskey at all River Dragon home games.
Golden Corrals, carved New York strip and jumbo butterfly shrimp. Make me feel like a real New Yorker. Hey, I'm eating here. New York strip and butterfly shrimp. Golden Corral, the only one for everyone.
There's a lot to love about fall, like the cool weather, watching the game, or streaming your favorite movies with fast and reliable internet and Wi-Fi. Fall is the perfect time to make the change to Beam with no data caps, all your favorite channels, and fast speeds. Call or visit us online at ctvbeam.com to get the perfect package for your needs and make your fall even better.
Every day, we're powered by you.
Let Shredaway, a division of the Overby Company, take care of all your document shredding needs. We can design a custom shredding program for your business today. No need to purchase equipment, no maintenance expenses, no need to prepare records for destruction, increase employee productivity, increase security, no worry. Was it really destroyed? Right now, all new customers can receive 10% off. Shredaway, a division of the Overby Company, locally owned and operated in downtown Columbus. That's Shredaway, 706-577-9668.
Whether you're heading to an off-road destination, creating the perfect lawn, or preparing the fields, think SunSouth, where you'll find quality John Deere equipment, affordably priced to help you tackle the tough jobs. Think SunSouth, for those that do.
Welcome back into River Dragons Weekly. Now it's time for an interview with a special player guest. Tonight, that guest, number 18, Jake Howie. Jake, thanks for taking the time.
Appreciate it.
So, Jake, you come to us from Michigan, and there's a number of different guys on the team that have sort of built up their own, I don't want to say clique in the locker room, but we got a lot of Michigan guys on a team from Georgia. Kind of cool to have a bunch of players from your home state?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice having guys from back home. Gives you something to talk about, and, you know, a lot of us root for the same professional teams, you know, like the Red Wings or the Lions, and, you know, gives you something to at least talk about, or, you know.
Probably easier to build that camaraderie, that sort of chemistry up that way too, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, you're sitting there, and a lot of these guys actually have known them for a few years. Like I played with Vaughn Clauston a little bit growing up, and then you know you just see other guys along the way growing up too, and so yeah, I mean, it helps you know each other some.
Speaking of where you came from, you played in the NA3 in Chicago, and then you played in the NA3 also with Flint, and then a team in the NHL called Minot. Take us through a little bit of your junior career, because like we said, you're from Michigan, but you've been in and out of the state a lot, becoming the professional hockey player you are now. Yeah, no, so I mean, I grew up just playing basic travel in Detroit, and then after my U16 year, I got drafted to Chicago. You know, I went down there for my senior year of high school. Lived in Chicago for the year, and it was an awesome experience. Difficult moving away from home at, you know, 16, 17 years old. And then, yeah, I returned home for the next year to play for Flint. And then was lucky enough to go up to Minot for 2 years, which that city doesn't get enough credit. It's very cold up there. You know, you'll have nights and days where it's minus 40 out, but, you know, it's an awesome little city, an awesome little hockey town. What was the feeling for you to get drafted to Chicago out of your U16, or the midget year as they would call it? Because I have to imagine that probably played a big decision into you wanting to continue your career as far as you could to try and become a pro like you are now. Yeah, no, it was. I was actually playing in like a spring league game when I found out, and it was like the guys came on there and said, "Oh yeah, you got drafted by Chicago." I was like, "The NA3? Like what's that?" I had no idea what it was. And then, yeah, I talked to the coach a couple days later, and decided that it was the right step for me to take that move down there and head to Chicago. Had to be a pretty fun experience for you as well. And then you took that junior career to a 4-year career at Marian University. So you went from the junior ranks into collegiate athletics. What was the difference in there, and what made you want to go to Marian? The difference in juniors is just you play a lot less games. A college season is only 25 games, so rather than playing, you know, 65, 70 games like we did my last year in Minot, I played 100 games in 4 years. And, you know, Marian, I just liked the small school aspect of it. It was only like a 1,200 school or student school. So it was just small, and you get to know your teachers, and that way if you needed help, you actually had like a personal relationship with them. You go and say, hey, like, I'm not understanding something, and they actually knew your name rather than just being one of 200 kids in a room. That's very cool. We're speaking with number 18, Jake Howie, in this edition of River Dragons Weekly. All right, Jake, now we've gone through where you came from. Now you're here in Columbus. You're a full-scale professional. And what I find the most interesting about you is you came to us in Columbus as a forward, and yet here you are now playing D and honestly doing very well in it. First of all, what went into the transition to play defense, how are you liking it? I like it a lot. I mean, it's definitely a lot less skating, which there's, you know, that's a very underrated part of that. But no, it was just, you know, we had a log jam up front, and Jerome came to me and just said, hey, you know, we need a little bit of help back there, some, you know, a little bit of poise and moving the puck. And he said with my skating ability that he didn't think it would be all that difficult of a jump for me to go back there and make an impact. So it was something I was willing to try, and it's worked out fairly well so far. How much defense had you played beforehand? Because we just went through everywhere you went to, Chicago, you know, Flint, Minot, Marion. How much defense had you played before you came to Columbus? None. I had played. Wow. I had played defense when I was 10, back in like squirts. And then I moved to forward when I was in Pee-wees, so when I was like 11 or 12. So something stuck when you were 10 years old, I guess. Yeah, I guess so. I guess there was still something back there in the back of my head saying, like, knowing what to do. But, yeah, it's definitely different. But I'd played center most of my life growing up and in junior and college. So, you know, the defensive zone stuff wasn't all that different. It was just mainly facing rushes against and, you know, gapping up on forwards that
I really hadn't done before.
That's very cool. And even though you've been playing defense for the majority of this season, that has not stopped your offensive output. You got a couple of goals to your tally. I think a lot of fans will remember the shorthanded goal in Carolina New Year's Eve. That game didn't go our way, sure, but your goal was a pretty big moment. Had to be probably one of the better ones you've scored, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. That's it's one of the prettier ones I've scored, and definitely recent memory, if not ever. And yeah, and then the other one was up in Port Huron. I think it hit everything but the popcorn lady before it went in the net. So
I tell you, the Carolina one, 4-on-3, shorthanded goal. I'm sure you scored plenty of shorties being a forward, but to score a shorty as a defenseman down 4-on-3 was pretty rare. Take us through that. Do you remember anything from that goal?
Yeah, I remember most of the play leading up to actually shooting, and that's kind of where it goes a little fuzzy. But yeah, no, it was just that Carolina got into a kind of like a diamond. They had a net front guy, and they tried to one-touch it down to the forward down on the right dot. I came out. I was just going to originally block the shot, or try to block the shot. It was a pretty slow-moving pass, and I was able to actually get all the way out and get a stick on it. And when I got a stick on it, it just jumped in front of me, and we had a 2-on-1 going the other way, so figured why not.
Just sort of gripped it and ripped it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. This is number 18, Jake Howie here on River Dragons Weekly. Jake, a little bit more time here for you on the show. What is it about playing in Columbus that's so special for you? Because, I mean, you've been to so many different places, and so many places that I think people generally think of as traditional hockey markets. And while Columbus certainly has a hockey market, I think a lot of people think down in Georgia there might not be as much hockey activity here. But I'm sure you've seen firsthand that there's a lively fan base here in Columbus.
Yeah, no, the fans here are awesome. They definitely love hockey and are passionate about it, and that's awesome to see. There's nothing better than coming out of the tunnel and there's 3,000 people there, getting loud and getting ready for you guys to play, and it makes it easier to play. It makes you more excited to get out on the ice and try to get a spark into the crowd.
Yeah, and I have to imagine, being on the pro side of a 3,000 crowd versus elsewhere. I mean, there are some other buildings that also have a very good fan base, but it's just one of those things when you see it down here, you see the crowds are growing. You mentioned about 3,000. We're hoping to get even more north of that as we get deeper in the year. It's just really showing that this community loves their River Dragons, even though hockey was gone for a little bit.
Yeah.
They're taking to the team. So, anyways, Jake, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah,
appreciate you having on the show.
Me.
Good luck the rest of the year. Maybe we'll see you again.
Yeah.
That was Jake Howie, number 18. Stick around. We've got more River Dragons Weekly with a look ahead coming up after this.
There's a lot to love about fall, like the cool weather, watching the game, or streaming your favorite movies with fast and reliable internet and Wi-Fi. Fall is the perfect time to make the change to Beam with no data caps, all your favorite channels, and fast speeds. Call or visit us online at ctvbeam.com to get the perfect package for your needs and make your fall even better.
Every day, we're powered by you.
The best damn spirits in the world. We say that because we care about what we do. The premium quality of our spirits doesn't come from some secret recipe or magic water. It comes from our desire to craft the best damn spirits in the world. Swamp Fox Distilling Company. Premium, small batch spirits made with pride in Buena Vista, Georgia. Now available at your favorite local package store.
At Georgia Power, we believe our lake should be filled with water, not trash. That a healthy honeybee population will pollinate a healthier environment. That building homes is just as important as powering them. That's why we believe what we do off the grid is just as important as the clean, safe, reliable, affordable energy we provide on it. And that's a different kind of energy.
Welcome back into River Dragons Weekly. Big thanks to Jake Howie, who took some time out of his day to talk with us about becoming a River Dragon, where he came from. It's a very interesting story that he's had so far. And another way you can learn about our players is by tuning in to our weekly coaches show. The Swamp Fox Distilling Co. Coaches Show happens every Tuesday night, 6 to 7 p.m., 92.1 FM and 1420 AM. That's WRCG. Thank the fine folks at PNB Broadcasting on the radio side for allowing us to have that as the home of River Dragons hockey. We heard from Jake Howie about a week or two prior to his TV appearance, but it's always fun to catch up with him and learn how he's doing as he grows into a great defenseman for your River Dragons team this year. Well, we talked about the scores that the River Dragons had, but let's take a look at how the rest of the league unfolded over that weekend. We did have a 3-3 that happened. Danbury and Watertown started it up with an 8-1 win for the Hat-Tricks. That was on the same Thursday that the River Dragons fell 6-5 to Port Huron. Friday saw a more traditional 5-game slate. Danbury defeated Delaware 5-4 on the road. Elmira also defeating Watertown by the same score, 5-4. The Carolina Thunderbirds and Mentor Icebreakers had to go to a shootout. Thunderbirds won that one by a final score of 3-2. And Danville defeated Battle Creek in the first of two at the David S. Palmer Arena, 5-2. Then we looked ahead to Saturday. The Thunderbirds shut out the Icebreakers for the weekend sweep in 5 of the 6 points. Their newly acquired goaltender Jake Mullen picked up that shutout 3-0. The Columbus 11-9 win, just unbelievable, absurd even, but a lot of fun if you were there at that game. The Delaware Thunder were able to split that weekend with Danbury. They won 6-2 in their home ice. Watertown also split the weekend against Elmira with a 3-2 victory. That one came in overtime. And the Danville Dashers, they finished off a weekend sweep of the Battle Creek Rumblebees with a 7-3 win over the Danville Dashers. That allows us to transition into our standings as we sit right now in mid-January of 2020. A look at the Western Division, you'll see the Carolina Thunderbirds still leading the way, 66 points through 26 games. That's a .846 points percentage. Port Huron, though, within shouting distance in second place, 45 points on 25 games played for a straight 600. Now, Danville has 4 more points than Port Huron at 49, but because they've played 3 more games, their points percentage technically puts them beneath the Prowlers. Danville still doing very well in the season, 49 points through 28 games. Then we find your River Dragons, 31 points on 27 games, and the Battle Creek Rumblebees, 3 points on 28 games. River Dragons have a big chance coming up this month and through February to try and make up some ground on both Port Huron and Danville. Now remember, out of games against the Port Huron Prowlers, but Danville coming up January 24th and 25th at home at the Civic Center. Tell you more about that in just a little bit. First, the Eastern Division. Then there's the Danbury Hat-Tricks, 58 points on 27 games. They continue to lead the way on the back of that, I believe it was a 12 or 13 game win streak they had. They're 8-2 in their last 10, and they have been continuing to keep Watertown at an arm's distance. Watertown's at 46 points on those same 27 games, 12 points back of the Hat-Tricks. 41 points on 28 games for Mentor, and 39 points on 27 games for Elmira, the 3rd and 4th spot. That is a very tight race in the Eastern Division. And then Delaware, certainly within shouting distance on Elmira, 24 points on 25 games. They have 2 games in hand on Elmira. If they were to win both of those in regulation, they'd only be 9 points away from a playoff spot. So that Eastern Division is tightening up and looks to be very entertaining down the stretch. That'll transition us into games this week. As we look, it'll be a typical Friday and Saturday set with a Monday Martin Luther King Day that I guess we'll lump into this weekend as well. On Friday, you'll see the Elmira Enforcers at the Danbury Hat-Tricks. That'll be for 2 games, Friday and Saturday. Your Columbus River Dragons are at the Watertown Wolves. More on that one in a little bit. Port Huron and Battle Creek, they'll play a home-and-home. That starts up Friday and Saturday. Saturday in Battle Creek, Friday in Battle Creek, Saturday in Port Huron. Carolina Thunderbirds host the Delaware Thunder, and the Mentor Icebreakers host the Danville Dashers. That's everything through Friday, Saturday. And then your Monday Martin Luther King game will be Battle Creek at Mentor, and that's a 2 o'clock puck drop over there in Northeast Ohio. So the River Dragons and the Watertown Wolves getting ready to do battle this weekend, this time up in upstate New York. It's probably going to be quite snowy up there. I'm sure the team's going to have to pack the winter jackets. But this rivalry, if you will, this military town rivalry, I guess we'll call it, because Fort Benning here in Columbus and then Fort Drum up there in Watertown, New York. There's actually plenty of people down in the area that I've been talking to that have connections to that Watertown area, either being stationed there or being from the upstate New York area, and just knowing where Watertown is. So it's going to be very interesting to see, will the River Dragons have any support or much support being able to travel up there? And will the River Dragons be able to pull off a big win or two, I should say, on the road to try and make up the points differential in terms of the season series between these two? Remember, while they did split here in Columbus, the River Dragons win was in overtime, so that means 2 points for the River Dragons, while 4 for the Wolves out of those 6 that were available here in Columbus. 6 points available up in Watertown. The River Dragons will need to at least win both to try and get a point split or a points win against the Watertown Wolves this season. It'll be very interesting. Those games will come up 7:30 on both Friday and Saturday. And that means a 7 o'clock Burger King pregame show on the home of River Dragons hockey, 92.1 FM and 1420 AM WRCG. Of course, because we are on the road, the TV portion of the broadcast will be found on the Watertown Wolves YouTube channel there. So Watertown and Columbus, 2 games this weekend. Hope you're able to tune in, and we're going to have a lot of fun bringing them to you from snowy and cold upstate New York. Before we go, though, we got to tell you about the next upcoming promotions that the River Dragons have. It starts up after the Watertown weekend with the Danville Dashers in town, January 24th and 25th. That Friday is Education Night, brought to you by Kinetic Credit Union. Educators and school workers get a special ticket offer at the box office window, and we're offering 1,500 rulers to the first 1,500 students, obviously, that come in through the gate. And again, all of that is brought to you by Kinetic Credit Union. Then we look ahead to February for our promotions there, and we find February 15th. That's Kids Night, brought to you by Family and Kids Magazine. If you subscribe to their publication or you pick it up on the shelves during the month of February, you'll find an offer in there. You buy 1 adult ticket and you get up to 2 children, 12 and under, free into the game. So make sure to check your local newsstands and magazine stands for Family and Kids Magazine. Find our ad in there, clip it out, bring it to the box office. 1 adult ticket gets you 2 12 and under in for free. And that's February 15th against the Battle Creek Rumblebees. Then, when the Danbury Hat-Tricks are in town, February 28th, 29th, and March 1st, but we'll stick with February for right now. February 28th is our Faith and Family Night. Bring your congregation out for a night of worship. We'll have a pregame prayer before Friday night's game on that one. And then Saturday, that's going to be a big one. It's Military Night, brought to you by Liberty Utilities. We're going to have special ticket offers. We're also going to have specialty jerseys that you'll see available on LiveSource the day of the game. A chance for you to bid on your favorite player's jersey and win it right off their back at the end of the game. I want to thank everybody that participated in our last LiveSource auction. That was Hometown Heroes Night. You saw the different jerseys we were playing in on Saturday during the highlights. We raised quite a bit of money for Children's Miracle Network. I want to thank everybody that participated in that. Hope you enjoy your jerseys, and hope you look to support us again when Military Night comes around, again, February 29th, and that's brought to you by Liberty Utilities. Well, that'll just about do it for this episode of River Dragons Weekly. My big thanks to Jake Howie, who was our special interview player guest for this show. Thanks to the folks at CTV Beam for helping us put this together behind the scenes. And thanks to the River Dragons front office, who allow us to do this and bring all the news and notes from your Columbus River Dragons straight to you. I'm Zach DeBozart, VP Communications and play-by-play voice. Remember to tune in Friday night, 7 o'clock pregame show, 92.1 FM and 1420 AM. River Dragons on the road in Watertown, taking on the Wolves. Until then, have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you next time.